All right, what's going on, guys? I am super excited to bring you this video. This is August 19th of 2025, and this scope is released today. So the day of posting this video is released. I've had it for about a month now, so I've had quite a bit of time behind it. Not a ton, but quite a bit. Used it in a couple different capacities, as you'll see in the footage that's playing as we're covering the optic itself. And I've been super happy with it. It's a great optic. I actually got my hands on this at SHOT Show of 2025 at the Zerotech cocktail party. It was a private event. Got to look at it, got to give my feedback on it, and I'm happy to see what they end up putting out for us to enjoy. So this is the 1-to-10 power Zerotech TRACE ED. And for you male audience, ED is a good thing in this case. So as you see right here, I've got it set up with a piggyback Zerotech Halo red dot, and that is in a worn Skyline mount. But we're not going to cover the red dot today. It is a great optic stack as you see here, but today's video is obviously about the TRACE ED 1-to-10. So let's go ahead and jump into some of the details of it. So it is a 1-to-10 power optic. It features ED glass, which is really good glass, means you're going to get good color accuracy and light transmission. One thing that I can say about the ED glass is it is phenomenal when it comes to the color accuracy. A lot of LPVOs can tend to be a little bit grayish, if you will, a little bit desaturated. If you're a camera person, then you understand what I'm talking about. It helps you retain a lot more detail when you get accurate color, and the ED glass does a really good job at producing accurate colors. It features an RMGL reticle, which is a first focal plane mil radian reticle. I'm super excited about that. I've been using Zerotech optics for a long time. They're no stranger to the channel, and I'm super grateful for the relationship I have with them. One thing that I do have in complaint against Zerotech is a lot of their reticles just aren't usable for me. A lot of it's very simple MOA based reticles, and it's just not my preferred style, and so I'm happy to see them put forth a mil reticle that is on par with something that I would generally use. The reticle is illuminated. It is a digitally illuminated control, so it is a push button over here on the left hand side of the optic. So you push it, it comes on. Then you keep tapping it, cycle through the settings, and hold it for about 3 to 5 seconds, and it'll shut off. Whenever you turn it back on, it'll go back to the previous setting that you had it on. The illumination is bright. Indoors, it's not daylight bright. You can obviously see some red tint to it in the daytime, but out on daylight today, it's about noon, and it's fairly sunny outside, and the illumination just doesn't really, it's not really capturing or usable in the sense of like a red dot bright setting, but it is sufficient enough out here against dark backgrounds, and it's absolutely bright indoors. The elevation turret is something I'm really excited about. It is locking, and it does include zero stop, so I really like that. Not that I'm dialing super often with an LPVO, but since it is locking, you don't lose any benefits, but I do like having the ability to dial on my elevation should I need to do so. And then I like that it does have a zero stop. With an LPVO, it's generally used in a faster capacity, and so having that zero stop allows me to dial whatever elevation I need on my turret and then very quickly dial it back to zero with that zero stop. The windage turret is capped, and that's my preference. I like an exposed elevation locking turret, and then I like a capped windage because I generally don't mess with my windage too much. I'm not going to generally dial on wind. I will use that for getting my zero. I'll set it back to zero, cap it, and generally leave it be. Very rarely will I mess with that. So this is my preferred optic turret setup. Is again, it is a locking, exposed elevation, and a capped windage. Another feature that it comes with is this removable throw lever. So again, an LPVO is generally a faster used optic, so having this throw lever means that you can adjust your magnification much faster. But should you want to remove that for snag hazards or what have you, you can very easily do that with just one screw and it comes off. But I think most people are going to want to leave that on there. It's just my preference. So now covering some of the technical specs of the 1-to-10 TRACE ED. It is again 1-to-10 magnification. It's a 24mm objective diameter lens. It's a 34 millimeter diameter main tube. The parallax adjustment is fixed at 100 meters. Eye relief is 3.7. For reference, the Vortex Razor 1 to 10 is 3.6 inches. The field of view at 100 meters is 117.3 feet at 1 power. Again, for reference, the Vortex Razor 1 to 10 is 116 feet. The Trace ED does have the industry leading field of view right now at 1 power. The 1 power is super wide. And then at 10 power, it's 11.73 feet at 100 yards. Again, at 10 power. The turret adjustments is 0.1 MRAD per click. It's 10 MRADs per revolution, and the elevation travel is 34 MRADs. The length of the optic is 10.35 inches. The weight is 25.64 ounces. The tube material is 6061 T6 aluminum. Lens coating is weather shield protection. And then as far as extra things that this scope does come with is that it comes from the factory with really nice aluminum flip up covers for the lenses. And they do have detents. And so you've got multiple points along the travel that you can set it. I've opted to pull those off just because I'm usually running a trigger cam. And then up here on the front, I just generally don't like lens covers on LPVOs. They're more so duty optics, generally used again in a quicker manner. And that's just one less thing that I got to fool with. But if that is your thing in harsh conditions, it does come with very nice aluminum flip-up scope caps. I just opted to pull mine off. Overall experience with this optic has been phenomenal. As I mentioned before, that ED glass gives really accurate color. And that's super important to me, is getting good color. Clarity is obviously top notch on this, as is with most Zerotech optics. They have really good glass in all of their optic lines, from the low end stuff all the way up to their high end stuff. The glass clarity is phenomenal. Looking through it right now, that super wide field of view is very nice. It's something that I generally don't like on most LPVOs is the narrow field of view and the shallow eye box. But as I mentioned, this is, I think I said 3.7 inches is the eye box. And you've got a lot of space to work with and still be able to get that clean picture, especially at 1x. At 1x, I get a little bit of fisheye around the outer edge just because that field of view is so wide. I guess that is to be expected, but it's not bad. It's just the very edge of it. Chromatic aberration is again just around the very edge of it. You start to lose a little bit of the saturation at 1x, but it is absolutely usable, and I will take it to get that really wide field of view. It is really nice when it comes to target transitions and observations, especially when you're running through like a house doing indoors. That really wide field of view makes it super easy to keep both eyes open and make sure you're not missing any information that's presented in front of you. So now one of the last things that you're probably wondering about this optic after you heard all the details is what's the price going to be. Projected MSRP should be right there around the $1,000 mark. And for this package, I think it's a phenomenal price. I was comparing it to a Razor 1 to 10 the day before filming this video. And the Razor 1 to 10 takes the cake in some situations. I think that it's the 1 to 10's got more pronounced holds, the stadia lines in the reticle. The reticle and the Zerotech tends to be a little bit more translucent as opposed to like the Razor 1 to 10. This is much more ambiguous of like a precision style optic where you can generally kind of see through the reticle. But I think the glass clarity on the Zerotech is absolutely on par with the Razor 1 to 10. Obviously a wider field of view, and I think that it has got more accurate colors than the Razor. Also for the reticle in the Zerotech TRACE ED, I think at 1x the reticle is more usable than the mill reticle for the Razor. But the Razor does have a brighter illumination. So there's definitely trade-offs, but again, this should be coming in right around $1,000. The Vortex Razor 1 to 10 is like 3 times that. Not that the Razor is a bad optic, it's a phenomenal optic, But optic technology is getting crazy good, and I'm happy to be partnered with Zerotech to present some of this new technology. Companies now have the ability to put out fantastic optics for not a lot of money. Obviously, $1,000 is a lot of money, but in comparison to a lot of the other top-end optics on the market, $1,000 is more than competitive and is generally coming in about half the price of some of the optics that are competitive in terms of features, clarity, and quality. So, if you've got any questions about the Zerotech TRACE ED 1 to 10, leave that in the comments. I would love to respond. Check the links down there in the description and save yourself some monetary value on things like the TRACE ED 1 to 10. I appreciate you watching. That's all I have for you, and I will catch you on the next one.